One question I get a lot is how do you create binder rings in PowerPoint? So here's one option that you can do where you have the rings in the center. And here is the second option where you have the notebook coil on the edge of your notebook. In this video, I'll show you how I created these rings, so stay tuned. So I'm going to start off by opening up my PowerPoint. And here is my PowerPoint, and I'm just going to open up a blank presentation right now because what I want to do is I want to show you how I created those coils in that digital notebook. You can call them coils, you can call them binder spines. I'm getting a lot of questions these days about how I created the coils for my digital products. And once you open up PowerPoint, you can just click on those text boxes and just delete them if you don't need them. But I wanted a workspace here just to show you how I created them. So, and what I'll do is I'll link the tutorials, which I have in a playlist about how to create a digital planner. They are quite comprehensive and take you from your conceptual thought through the whole process of creating your digital planner. But for today's session, we're going to focus on how I created those binder rings. So another question I get too is, can I just take what's in Canva and upload it to PowerPoint? And the problem with that is that you can certainly try to upload coils to PowerPoint, but what I have found personally is when I have tried to do that, those images become corrupted and they disappear, or you just can't use them. They're not usable. That's what happens to me. By all means, if you're able to do that, that's fine. But another thing that you also need to know is that Canva terms don't really allow you to take one of their elements and upload it into another software product to create a digital product to sell. Okay, so you need to understand that as well. If you're doing this for your own personal use, that's fine. No one's going to know about it. You can do it, right? But so let's get down to business in this, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by placing a circle shape on my workspace. So I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Shapes. And I'm going to place this circle on my workspace. Now, of course, I'm making it a lot larger than it might normally be because I want you to see what I'm doing. So I'll just make that a little bit larger so you can see. Okay, so I've got this shape on my workspace and you can make it any color that you want. I'm going to take this shape and I'm going to change the color and the outline. How do we do that? We're going to click on the shape and then we're going to go to Shape Fill. I'm going to change it to, now if you don't see this shape format, it's probably because you don't have your shape selected. So once you select your shape, you're going to see shape format and you're going to see all of this stuff come up. So we're just going to go to Shape Fill. And we're going to change the fill of that to something lighter, maybe like that. Now we're going to change the outline. I'm going to remove the outline because I don't want that outline there. Now, this all comes down to preference. You either want the outline there or you don't. But let me show you what it looks like without the outline. So I'm just going to select no outline. Okay, so now we've got no outline. Okay, so in here, and I've just selected no outline. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab another shape and we're going to add it to this. So I'm going to go back into Insert, but if you notice, I've kind of got like a shortcut here. And what I want is, so you can either go to Insert and you can go back to Shapes, I'm looking for this rectangle with rounded corners. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's a rectangle with rounded corners. And now I'm going to create that shape by dragging this cross here. And I'm just going to place it right there. Okay, now you can make it as large as you want. I'm going to make it that large right now. I mean, right now, I've got a very large coil, one coil, so that you can see what it looks like. I'm going to take this rounded shape, and I'm also going to change the color of this. So I'm going to go back up to shape fill, and I'm going to make this a darker shade. So I'm going to just change the color to that color. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the outline again. So I'm going to go to shape outline, and I'm going to come right down to here where it says no outline, and I'm going to check that, and that's going to remove the outline. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a shadow to this. So I'm going to come up here to shape effects, and I'm going to add this shadow here. Now, when I hover over each one, you're going to get a preview of what it's going to look like. So it's, up to you as to which shadow you want to apply. I'm going to apply this one right here. Okay, so there is that shadow effect there. Now, if you want to increase that shadow, then what we can do is we can right click on this object, and we can go to Format, Shape, and that will open up a window on the side. And then we can go to Effects, and you'll see Shadow here. To increase the size of this shadow, just come here to Size, and just right now it's set at 100%, but if you increase that, you'll see the shadow will get a little bit bigger. Okay, so I'll just leave it like that for now, and I'll just click outside. Okay, so we have our first coil. Now let me make this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these two, and I'm going to group them together. So I'll select both of them, and I'll right click, and I'll say group. Okay, so now they're grouped together, which means when I go to resize them, they'll resize in proportion to one another. Okay, so there they are right there. Now, just so that you can get a better idea of what this might look like on the spine of a notebook, I'm going to place another shape on my workspace. So I'm going to create a square box here just to show you what that might look like. Okay, and I'm going to push this backwards. So I'll just send it backwards. Okay, so here is my shape again. And let me just make that a lighter color. Okay, so I'm going to take this again, and I'm just going to make it a lot smaller, like that. And I'll just do it like that. Let me just make the screen bigger so you can see it. I'm going to close this box right there. And I'm going to take this, and I'm going to move it right here. Now, if you don't think that your coil is large enough, then you can certainly make that bigger. So what we can do is I'm just going to push this over here, and I'm going to grab this and put it here. But so as you can see there, we need to increase the size of that darker gray box. So we can just go back to it and we can ungroup it. And I can just take the circle there and I can move it forward like that. And I can grab my coil and place it there. All right, so that's how it would look like. Now, if you want to make your the circle more circular shaped instead of oval shaped, you can do that too. If you want to make the coil thinner, you can do that as well. Okay, but that's what it would look like that. And I'm pushing it so that the shadow, you can't see the shadow on the left side. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to group that again. Okay, so come here, I'm going to group that, and I'm going to now make a copy of that. So I'll press Control C and then I'll press Control V, and I'll put them side by side like that. Okay, now if you want a shadow on the circle, we can also place a shadow on the circle. How do we do that? So again, if I ungroup it and I just select the circle and I go back to shape format and I go to shape effects, shadows, and again, I'm choosing, well, it all depends on what you want to choose, but that's how that would look. And so if you like that, then what we can do is we can make a copy of that and bring it all the way down. So let me grab those two again, and I'm going to group those. And I'll make a copy of that. Control C, Control V. And so here it is right here. Now don't forget, you can make these as small as you want. And so once I have a couple, I'll just grab them. And again, I'll copy and Control V to paste. And then I'll paste them down like that. And those little red lines just tell you whether your elements are evenly spaced or not. So it's kind of like a guide. And again, what I'll do is I'll just take those. So I'll just select those one by pressing Shift and my mouse button. And now I'll press Control C and Control V to copy. So let me just make that smaller so you can actually see the effect. Okay, so that's the idea of how to create the coil on the binders. Okay, and again, if you need to make them smaller, you can make them smaller to achieve a tighter fitting coil. Okay, so that is the nature of how we create the coil. Now, another thing that we can do with these coils is we can add another white circle for some depth. Let me show you what I mean. I'm just going to grab another circle shape and I'm going to add it to my workspace. And I'm going to make this circle shape white. And I'm going to remove the outline. And I'm going to grab this shape. And I'm going to place it right in here. And I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller. And move it underneath like that. Okay, let me move this up to the front so you can see what that looks like. Okay, so that is also another effect. If you want it to look like it was coming out of a hole. So so you have the option of just leaving it simple like this, or adding another circle where you've got the coil coming out of a white hole. Now, if you had a 2-page layout, then you might want to create them a little bit differently. If it were me, now I don't have any digital products where the coils are in the middle, but if it were me, this is how I would achieve that effect. So I'm just going to take the border off of those 2 boxes. So I'll just say no outline and no outline. Okay, so what I would do is, again, I would go into shapes. So I would go to insert and I would go to shapes, and I would look like something that looked like macaroni, if that makes sense. Okay, and I'm just going to place this on my workspace like that. Okay, and again, I'm going to apply the same methodology. So for this, I'm going to go to Shape Fill, and I'm going to make it a little bit darker. And I'm also going to remove that outline because I don't want that outline. And I'm also going to place some circles in there as well, circle shapes. So I'm just going to come to the side here since this is here. And I'm going to create 2 circles, but this time I'm going to make them like oval looking like that. And I'm going to go to Shape Fill, but I'm going to make these a little bit lighter. And I'm going to remove that outline. So I don't want that outline. And now I'll grab that and I'll push it right up underneath or where the edge of the macaroni is. So I'll just bring it right there. Now let me just make this larger so we can see. And I'm going to push that in behind that elbow. So how do we do that? We'll just send it backward, or we can take this and bring it forward, okay? And again, just position it to the center of that oval shape, like that. Now, if you want to apply a shadow to this, you can most certainly apply a shadow to this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a copy, so Control C and Control V, and I'm going to take this and put it over here. And again, those lines are telling me that the 2 circles are aligned. I'm going to grab this and I'm going to bring it forward again. So there is that spine. And you'll just want to make sure that that's centered all the way around. I'm going to grab those and I'm going to group them together. Now, if you want to apply some shadows to that, you can most certainly apply shadows. I'm going to right click and go to group, and I'm going to group those together. So let's just zoom out a little bit. Okay, so that's what that would look like. And I'm going to just take that and move that over a little bit. And now I'm going to take a copy of that and paste it. So Control C and Control V. And I'm going to grab that and move it over and try and align it. Now you can move it as far apart from each other as you want. Once I have a couple, I'm going to select them both. And I'm going to copy them and paste them just to save time so I don't have to recreate them, and place them on my workspace. And now again, I'm going to select the other 2 so that I don't have to recreate them again. So Control C and Control V. And I'm going to grab them and move them down again, like that. And again, I can paste. And that's what that would look like. So what do you think? That's how I would create coils in a digital planner. So let me know what you think in the comments. If there's anything else that you want to learn about digital planners, also please let me know in the comments. I'm going to link in the description the link to my groups, my Facebook groups, if you're interested in joining. I also have a YouTube channel membership where I give personalized help to my YouTube channel members in a very private group. I go live every week and I teach a class on whatever my adult learners want to learn. If you're interested, any of my YouTube channel memberships get access to the weekly live session. For now, I'm going to say bye-bye and until next time.